Hello and welcome to another awesome episode of CXO Fireside Chat with Kalpana on CXO TV, the flagship brand of Techless Media Group. Today's special guest is Hetal Presswala, Chief Information Security Officer at Kalpataru. Hetal is a tech leader with experience in handling cybersecurity breaches and ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of enterprise information systems. With his extensive background delivering IT services or solutions across various industries like BFSI, healthcare, energy manufacturing, etc., he excels in developing responsive IT organizations focused on enhancing user experience. Join me in giving a warm welcome to Hetal. A very warm welcome to you, Hetal.
Thanks a lot.
So we'll be diving into some exciting discussions, and let's start from, as a leading tech and security leader, can you provide insights into the evolving role of cybersecurity in the real estate sector and how it has become a critical component of overall business strategy?
So I don't want to talk about the real estate, but yes, it is not only the real estate. In every sector I worked upon, everywhere the problem is same. The important role is in the cybersecurity is move your processes from reactive to proactive, which is a very, very crucial in the cybersecurity, because normally when you are on a reactive side of it, then the attacker is on the upper side of it. So you need to be a little proactive. In this exercise, it's kind of the organization have to do the continuous vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, which are the applications unrolling or publishing on the corporate network or maybe the internet, right? Then it has to conduct the code review, code assessment, identify the weaknesses there. Very important in the application is how do you manage the errors, and then how it appears to the users, right? If you are exposing a lot of information, then you are giving a bites to the bad actor or to compromise your applications. So that's very important. Threat monitoring is very, very crucial nowadays. In terms of whenever somebody comes in, right? When it's like you have an entire fort and anybody intruder wanted to come in, they do some kind of research and they come in. They do the knocking at the first interval. So while you do, whenever you see the knock, you'll have to take the immediate actions. Right. So if you do the proactive steps there, then probably you'll be able to protect your ecosystems. Otherwise, they always wanted to be kept unhide by themselves, right? And they always try during the seasonality, or especially on holidays, or especially on a night time. That's the time they, do their bad activities. Invest on the security solutions today, the multi-factor is a key factor across these sectors, and it's very important. Now, another factor side of it, what we do is we implement the multi-factor at the user side of it. But backend, when the machine is talking to another machines, like API integration, we don't do a lot of efforts there. There is also you need to have, the API integration, a lot of controls to be defined so that you'll be able to protect it. Data encryption is by design, by default. Don't think today, if you search anything in the Google, you'll see it's encrypted, right? So it has to be encrypted. There's no matter what. And very, very important is employee training, user awareness, social engineering. How they do is you give them a clear indicators how and which way they will be able to detect by themselves and where to report. If you give that reporting mechanisms very crystal clear, you will be able to protect your ecosystem for sure.
Yeah, sure.
And most importantly, IoT. Sorry, I missed it, but
no,
IoT.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
IoT is the one of the key component where, and I see the IoT is the backdoor, and they love IoT devices. Threat actors are loving it because there's a weak authentication, no encryption, default password, and so on and so forth. And the partner who we will actually work with, they are also little limited knowledge. So you have to define lot of security controls, parameters, and then the hardening securities and so on and so forth to protect the IoT devices.
Yeah, sure. So, if you could share your journey so far, like, how you have reached to the place where you are now, and also highlighting the implementations that you have done. What were the learnings?
Yeah, so I started my journey actually with the network administration, right, in Citibank. So there itself in Citibank, we used to encrypt the data which is communicating from branch to branch. That point in time, I'm not sure there is a one device called Siling. Yeah, Siling. So Siling device we used to connect, and we used to encrypt the data with, I think, 256-bit data we used to encrypt. And we were seeing awesome, right? Today we are doing it 1024 byte and something's on 4096 bit of encryption. But that time we are doing it in 56-bit of encryption to ensure whatever the dumb terminal or computer system is communicating to the host system, the data is encrypted, nobody will be able to view it, the data. And we, as a bank, they have to do it. And there I started my journey. It's looked interesting for me. So whenever I do to architect any networking solution to the office, as well in the ICISO bank, which we implemented security architecture, there the security was by design in terms of application, in terms of hardening. We used to do it the hardening in year 2000. People are talking about nowadays, but we used to do it that point in time. And we had a lot of security sensors in ecosystems, whereby in case of any malicious thing happens, we'll be able to notify. That point in time, we could able to defeat code red 1 and code red 2. That point in time, it's similar kind of, it's a ransomware is doing to encrypt it. That point in time is kind of DDoS attack to your application, so they bring it down. We could be able to protect because of the proactive approach and proactive security solution deployed. We could able to defeat that attack in the bank.
Okay, so what is the current landscape? IT landscape we talk about at Kalpataru, and what kind of security posture you have built in Kalpataru?
So I would say it's a pretty good security solution we deployed. And I'm not going to name it which product we are consuming it, but yes, the kind of evolve happened the day I joined in Kalpataru. It's really great. The day before I joined and during the day I joined, there are people who are not reporting in case of something happens. They have a free access to all of them. There is no control defined that point in time. But over the period of time, with the education, with the training, and then, we did a lot of in-house campaigning. And that point in time, people started realizing what is security about and how and which way they're going to notch the individuals as well as the organizations. And it helps me a lot of, in terms of thanks to bad actor as well, because they did a lot of, attack on different website. I used to present into the people, CIO and the board, and they realized, yes, what could be consequences happens in our organization, and people started realizing, and then we started deploying the pretty good solution in our infrastructure. Today, if in case anything happens, so people are so immediate reaction. In case they find something, they immediately call us, personally call me, and then say, see, look, I have seen this kind of anomaly. And it's really gives me a confidence. Yes, the entire ecosystem is with the right hand. People are cyber aware. People are knowledgeable. Even the user community is awesome. The people are knowledgeable and they report it in the right place, and they make sure that the our ecosystem is protected. It's not a 1% journey, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like you're telling that earlier, this was not this scenario, and now over the period, and of course, I mean, there is a sudden increase in the digitalization also of the operations. So, how do you approach the challenge of ensuring robust cybersecurity measures? In an environment which has started now relying on digital technologies. And what kind of trends do you observe in the intersection of in this kind of a sector Kalpataru is in cybersecurity?
So I would say in terms of real estate as well as the other organizations, the most important is how do you design your perimeters and how do you protect your data and the information. Previously, the organizations, every organization where I was working with are not about the Kalpataru, but the previous also, we were not doing the encrypting of the data by itself. Now today everybody's talking about, and it's become a de facto now. The important story starts from there. It is a level of defense, right? Every level, from the user computer system to the data which is being transmitted over the wire, and the data which is residing during in the devices, or data when it's been processed. Tokenization is very, very important, plays a role when the data has been open and then which has been tokenized, then this and been accessed securely. So very important places we are able to do it, protect it. The challenge what we have is the contractual and vendor side of it, right? And especially, as I said, IoT side of it. Where the kind of knowledge or the kind of, because they are not cyber aware, they feel what has been there for the long and it has to operate somewhere. So I'll tell you one example. One of the, not the Kalpataru, but one of the organizations we were discussing with the vendor, we were actually taking the feed, sensors were taking a feed from the different devices to know what is the level of oil and what is the level of the vehicle is, and how far it's been fuel management system. So the data which was there and the SIM which is connected, the data was sending it to the host was purely unencrypted. And we were having a plan so that we can take a proactive steps. For example, if we can see some of the workers has not been put the safety helmet or the safety shoes, not that should be give an alarm there. So that's a reverse call. We would like to do it, but we could not be do it because the partner who have been engaged, they were not having the security in by design, so that we took into the raid mode, so that if something can happen on data lake, so that should not compromise my IoT devices or something, and then we have to put into the different micro-segmentation zone, so that in case something happens, or by God's sake, then it should not be start propagating into our production environment or where we are doing a lot of business processes. So in terms of that, I feel a lot of challenges, especially in IoT. They are not very tax savvy. They use Python and the library, which is already vulnerable, and they have not planned to upgrade it, right? So this is the challenges which we face when we are engaging with them. And while we do so, but because of the cost and something, we had to go with them. So we take a different, complementary controls to protect our device, how and which way we'll be able to. So we are taking into the steps forward. Let's think about it, that system is compromised. What can go wrong? how my production will going to impact. And that's what it started, we start doing it, evolving and doing the assessment, and then we create a lot of, air gap between these two devices.
That's quite interesting. Okay. So we were talking about the data strategy. So the real estate sector deals with vast amounts of sensitive data. So how do you foster a culture of cybersecurity awareness within the organization to ensure the protection of this valuable information? And what best practices do you recommend for others in the industry?
See, data protection is very, very crucial nowadays, and the DPDP Act is actually fueling the data privacy for individuals as well as organizations. So, in terms of data, as I said, you will have to do a lot of due diligence in the data. Which kind of data you are storing? What kind of data? Where? How long you are storing it? Whether in case somebody's my data is compromised, or somebody is doing manipulating the data, whether I'll be able to restore it. And you'll learn to have a different air gaps of the backup solution where we'll be able to restore it to origin. Second is the DPDP Act side of it. Yes, you have to take a lot of step forward when it's coming in terms of what kind of data. And if you're not using it for the purpose, you'll have to remove it from your devices or make it unreadable format, or make it something hashed kind of it, so that it cannot be contextualize the data with the individuals. And you have to definitely take that step forwards in terms of biometric side of it, in terms of fingerprint and so on and so forth. And the customer data is very, very crucial for sure. So we take a lot of steps toward the whichever the partners we were engaging with it, and we do a lot of safeguarding in terms of protecting the customer data and protecting our own organizational data as well.
Yeah. So when we say partners, so what kind of SLAs should be in place, while finalizing the partners?
So in the NDA or agreement, the SLA is again depend upon business's driving factor there. You have to communicate the business in case something happened, what could be, and your the NDA clause will be such a way you never know how and which way the regulator is going to bite you. So you cannot put the value there. You'll have to have the statement open. And that's the reason you'll have to do a complementary controls established with the partners, where in case of that data has got breached or data has got stolen or it's been available in public and somebody's put the filing on it, how do you safeguard your organization? That's clause you'll have to definitely. And in case, especially what happens is when you give a data to someone else, there are many people who works around those data, right? Customer data, maybe a mobile number and so forth, and the email address and this and that. So when whomever you are engaging with, and they also do the engaging to the third party. So in your clause, you should communicate to them very clearly. If you are subsidizing and providing the information or doing it with this processing my data by third parties, you have to notify us, and we have to do a third party agreement as well with that. SLA, as you talked, very, very important. In my sense, SLA data should be available 100%, no matter what. You have to have, because especially in real sector, you can produce the data, but in the BFSI, you cannot reproduce the data which the transaction has happened. Like for example, you did the banking transaction online. Now you can't reproduce it. In the real estate, you can definitely put the manual entries and you can be able to produce it. That for sure. But in banking, data should be available 100%, no matter what. In case of any calamity, disaster, or maybe the cyber attack, has to be 100%.
Yeah. So we were talking about technologies like IoT and the other frontier technologies. So with the rise of smart buildings and IoT in the real estate sector, so how are real estate organizations addressing the cybersecurity implications of interconnected devices and technologies, and what strategies are in place to safeguard against the potential threats?
So I think, as I said, IoT is the most vulnerable in my previous discussion.
Yeah.
To start with, what we have done with the IoT vendors is, don't send the data which has been coming out, maybe whichever the form. Do some level of encryption, basic level of encryption, making sure the devices, for example, CCTVs, for example, your fingerprinting readers, they are accessible over the web. Lock down those access controls. Make sure that is basic kind of, you have to sit with them. There is no matter what, because they are not aware. You take into the chance that they are completely not aware. You need to guide them. If you work with them, they will give you a lot of ideas, how and which way. You start questioning them. And with the collaboration approach, definitely they will come up with a lot of issues. You will find a lot of issues, and you have to do the. Now, I'll give a very classic example of one of the fingerprinting reader. So, I was working in not the Kalpataru, but other organization. We had near about 100 IoT devices. All IoT devices, controlling and data side of it, all authentication was local without username password. Can you imagine? Now, if that kind of access, if threat actor get it, he'll love it.
Yeah.
And he will do for that, he will immediately start working and to do the, get into the system. So, then we started working with them, and then explore the possibilities. So we say, okay, now put the certificate into it. Now put the credential into it. Now all 100 devices local authentication. Now do one thing, you do authentication with the third-party AAA server. So we started integrating with third-party integration server. Then we said, okay, now it is now so that in case of password change, so you'll be still able to access these devices. Then if you want to do troubleshoot, you can do so. So these are the stuff you have to work with them. And then when they're capturing the information, right, how do you store it? Whether they said, okay, my data is stored in the encrypted format. Which format? They might be storing in a DES or triple DES. Say, okay, improve it to the triple DES. Okay, they don't have. Ask for go to OEM, take the firmware upgrade. You should do the firmware upgrade that ES56 or 2.1 is available. So this kind of conversation you have to establish with the vendors and partners, so that it is not that. It is basically, you have to understand, this is my ecosystem. Vendor will come and implement it. In case something happens, I am going to pay for it. I am going to pay the price, not the partner who has gone implement it. So I have to do my due diligence in terms of how do I protect my ecosystem. So I have to establish a collaboration with them, communication with them, to ensure all level of control, which is a standard which we do it already in the IT ecosystem, that also has to be done it in the IoT device. And that's how we started evolving and protecting the IoT devices.
Yeah, sure. So, we in real estate, I think we also have some external partners and the contractors and the other stakeholders. So
Right.
how do we ensure a secure and a collaborative environment, while navigating these complexities of cybersecurity, while engaging with these people?
So we have, to be honestly, any application or any partner we engage or we bring into our ecosystem. So we have a process called, if it's a cloud application assessment, or third party security assessment. That assessment checklist have near about, if I talk about the third party, it has 250 controls defined. And if I talk about the cloud, it has near about 157 controls defined. So we do all checks. Now, when we send that checklist to them and then do fill it up and then we start doing a discussion with them in terms of how, and they fill it up as per their wishes. What we understand and what they understand is a lot of challenges for sure. So when we say encryption, so they simply say just encrypted. When we say how, show me the artifacts, so it's an unencrypted, right? That's how it is. When we say ISO certification, yes, ISO certification has been done. Very good. Say, okay, show me when it's been due for the revise, so ISO certificate is already expired. So they okay, go and do the ISO certificate first then. Yeah. So that kind of,
I can relate.
So and then we say, okay, you did the VAPT. Okay, we did the VAPT. Okay, good. Show me the report. There is report is 0. Whom did you do the VAPT? Okay, we did it your own VAPT. So, okay, fine. Show me the URL. Now, let me do the VAPT of your application. Then we find plenty of weaknesses. So then we say, okay, no, do one thing, fix this, and then come back. I'll tell you, this assessment which we do to one enrollment, the kind of efforts my entire team is doing, right? It's phenomenal. And to enroll one third party, it takes sometime 2 months to enroll because they are not that much security aware. And I do conduct, my team does the conduction. What is the cybersecurity? We start giving the awareness to them.
Okay.
You know, why? Because ultimately they are not impacted. I said, right? If something happens, their application I am adopting in my ecosystem, and if there's other weaknesses, and if the one fruit is bad, then probably it will going to compromise entire my ecosystem. So I have to do due diligence no matter what. So in that terms, our entire team do a lot of due diligence in this to enroll any application. In case we do API integration also, we do a lot of checks. We do configuration. We say there's one vendor which it was very nice discussion with them. So I said, okay, API you are doing authentication? Yes. I said, your authorization? You were like, yes. Are you doing tokenization? Yes. Well, show me. So you are not doing authentication or tokenization at all. So I said, what is the authentication? Do you understand this? But no, when one machine is talking to another, is authentication. Well, that's not the authentication. Okay. So that kind of conversation, we have to give them a perspective. And then we start also, during this conversation, we give the awareness. Because why we do so is, it's not a matter of we have to evolve India to improve. If our all vendor and partners are not cyber aware, then this kind of problem will continue. And we know very well, kind of threat actor are taking the application left, right, and center, compromising the organization. That can happen to India as well.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It's happening. If you look at the stats, since this one, almost 76 websites is already compromised.
Yeah. So for yourself, like I can understand, creating an awareness among the partners is very important. And, we talked about assessments, again, very complicated. I wish there could be some automation system for, doing the assessments, a technology for technology kind of scenario.
This will not happen because something checks has to be done it manually. Now, we did a lot of automation in terms of some of the checks. We already did the automation where we see when the vendor does. So our bot comes and check the certificate is right or wrong. So something we already did in an automation, but somewhere you need a human to apply their mindset, and then subsequent question will come in. And then in our application security checklist, we have the whenever we do the, meeting with them, so the column keeps on adding it date by day, right? So we have a complete history, what we discussed that point in time and what is now. And that has been freeze and frozen put into the records, so that tomorrow something happens, what will discussion happen, what they have communicated and what accepted. And then thereafter all this kind of exercise, we create a risk matrix. So for example, if we are enrolling this application, what all could be the application risk? Something, for example, I'll tell you, if we are going into the cloud, we say that, will you going to delete my entire records so that the records will not be retrievable? They say yes. Are you doing 7 pass? No. Then anybody can retrieve the data.
Yeah.
Right. So then if they are not applying, then that all the data owners of business, then we say they are not applying it. Are we accepting this? So tomorrow that can be retrieved, that can be captured, and it can be compromised. Or whenever we are, changing the platform, so my data should be seamlessly goes, and will I'm going to get all the records where I need it in my format. If they don't provide, business has to take a risk. Something which is applied to the business, something is not applied, where IT is play the role, where we put clearly what are the risks associated with this partner if we are enrolling these applications. And in terms of high, medium, and low categories.
Okay. So I can understand awareness is the major thing, which is required, whether it is within our organization or maybe with the external, whether it's contractors or the vendors, partners. We have to create an awareness. But, it's also about staying abreast with the latest cybersecurity trends. So how you are, yourself keeping yourself abreast with what is happening latest, because security is always evolving. So if you can share some insights.
So if you look at it, in the keeping myself updated, so I read a lot of articles, newspapers, LinkedIn, blogs, and so on and so forth. And I also refer the what all the internationally, what all the threat actor has done the damage and what method they came in, right? And then I learn the lesson from them and start applying into my ecosystem, so that I'm not sure whether this can be applied on my own. But if that control is missing in my ecosystem, I immediately trigger initiatives within my organization to protect that, right? So very classic example, the previously command prompt was open in my organization. So Boeing was compromised because of the somebody has received the batch file and command prompt has been compromised, PowerShell was executed and it's compromised. So immediately thereafter, we immediately blocked the CMD across the organization, right? And before doing that, we look at it whether does the user needed a black window command prompt? No, they don't use it. Who are using it? IT people are using it. So then we take the exception, and IT people also many who are working on the ground, but who are in the manager level, or for example, myself, don't use the command prompt. So that's how I do kind of learning from the threat actors, how and which way they come in, and then I apply my knowledge to protect the organizations. I also do the lot of the kind of pattern analysis. I also try follow the threat actors, adversaries, who and watchers. So before I apply something, so I understand the attacker behavior and how it will come in, who will do what kind of, are they going to do only extortion? Are we going to do the act for the objectives, and so on and so forth, right? And then basis of that, I make a jot down the plan. what should be my subsequent plan for the next coming year. So today I have near about 5 years of plan already in place, so that which year I'm going to do what, how are I going to protect, and so on and so forth, right? So, of course, I follow FBI, NIST, CIS benchmark rigorously, so that any controls are being published by them. So immediately try and check whether this is going to cause nuances in my system or not. If not, then probably this keeps implementing the controls. And that's how I keeps my ourselves up to date from this. And especially nevertheless, the content. So the content is going to be a very, very, play a role in the cybersecurity. So we are in a strategic plan, how and which way we are going to protect from the quantum threats as well as the AI.
So that's my next question, that what are your top priorities over the next 2 to 3 years? Although you are telling that you have made it for 5 years, I'm quite happy to know that. I usually whenever I'm asking this question, people are saying that technology is changing so fast that it's really difficult to make a plan even for 2 years.
No, it is basically, of course, when the technology is changing, for example, quantum, right, is changing AI-based threats like disinformation. And you are seeing a couple of days back, there is a meeting is called CFO Hong Kong. 212 crores was stolen from that company, right? So we immediately circulated across the organization. What if you are sharing the social bytes, and how when it's going to cause nuances in the system. So what we did is, I don't need to communicate in the social media what control we have placed, but yes, we have established a control so that such kind of similar thing happen, we will be able to protect, right? And I always says to everyone that anything you do, right, in your personal life, or maybe in an organization or professional life, include a process of validation. So validate, and validate. There is never end for validation. So if you do this kind of inherent built-in into your system, you will be able to protect a lot of stuff to nuances coming into your ecosystem.
Sure. So would you like to share some tech priorities on your agenda this year, probably?
This is something organization level I will not be able to, but yes, DPDP is one of them, which we are going to drive across the organization. What we are already doing is cybersecurity awareness, but DPDP awareness also will be introduced, so that what data you capture, how you capture, when if it's not needed, what treatment should be done. For example, if somebody revoke the concerns, so then how and which are going to handle these concerns. So this kind of strategy we are going to apply across the operations. As I said, quantum is going to be one, and AI-based technology we are going to adopt, so that, as I always keeps on telling, right? So the threat actor always come with the latest technology to attack you. If you do not catch up, they will definitely come and create a lot of mess, or they will do a lot of disruption on your businesses or nuances in your ecosystem. So make sure, don't wait for a time that they come in. You identify and apply the technology prior to that, so that you will be protected when they come in. So you have a latest technology, so you can be able to detect their knock, anomaly knocks, and then prevent it as soon as you identify and notice in your devices or maybe the applications.
Yeah.
That's my priority.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Hetal. It was truly enriching having such an insightful conversation with you here on CXO TV.
Yeah, me too, Kalpana. It was really interesting, and I would say thanks a lot to give this platform to share my views and thoughts about the cybersecurity.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.